Ya uma uda ma'u abuala. Yeah, that's my beautiful family. But instead, we would say bloodline. Because we all bloodline. So Abdu'Allah. Ma'u Abdu'Allah. Beautiful family. And, well, like we always do about this time. Get the fuck out of here. Who was the first person to do that? What the hell? I'm gonna wait and see. I don't know. You know, Facebook don't really let me see who be popping in, so I could be mistaken. I don't get to see y'all for about 5-10 minutes. Yahoo! Can I get a Yahoo in the chat room? Talk to me, my beautiful people. Because they ain't going to let me see you, so you might well say something. Look at here, look at here. Yeah. It's safe to say, well, I was trying to think all day of a way to put this so it didn't sound extremely harsh and disrespectful. But then there's a side of me that think maybe y'all need some harsh and disrespectful. So I'm torn between the two sentiments. Yeah, whatever. If you voted for Biden, fuck you. How about that? How about that? Yauma. We just gonna start there. If you was one of them black folk that had your lousy ass on my page, on my timeline, in them long ass pointless arguments that was void of all kind of fucking fact, but y'all was angry and y'all was right. If you was one of them people that I damn near had to fucking disown. And you know what? That's where I fucked up at. A lot of y'all I got rid of, and now y'all don't get a chance to see me glow. See? Now, y'all can learn from me. Don't be emotional and just X dickheads out of your life because you might need to fuck them again. That was a bad analogy, but it was great in a way. So do with it what you want. I don't know. I ain't going to touch it again, though. I promise. Either way it goes. This was funny about y'all. This is what's funny about y'all. Because I know the whole motherfucking Trump administration, I mean the whole time, at least the last 2020, I went on record forewarning y'all of Trump versus what's to come. Y'all is so fucking intelligent. You argued me to the death with your little CNN facts. You were so sharp. CNN turning the smartest people to fucking idiots. Just so y'all know. It's the Coon Negro Network. It is not where smart people be. I know that's what y'all think. But no. It's where the smart dummies go. Truthfully. So you got your little CNN facts and you was feeling all informed and you was ranting and you was wrong. What I don't understand is this. Y'all put y'all faith in a white man who cannot speak in complete sentences, yet is in a position. See, y'all don't pay attention. Fuck the fact that he's running for president and somehow won. How does a person 70-something fucking years old and cannot hold a conversation with you? How does a person like that end up running for president and then win? How does he even get in that position? It ain't like y'all didn't know he couldn't talk right. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I wanted to prove to my little tiny audience that Joe Biden was full of shit and he don't talk right. So I said, well, I know they're going to try to hide it, but I probably could find something to prove my point. So I typed in Joe Biden. And I didn't type in anything else. Honestly, I just typed in Joe Biden. And the first was Joe Biden's speeches. And right up under Joe Biden's speeches was a plethora of Joe Biden fuck-ups. I said, oh, wow, it is in the age of censorship. It is so much readily available, long-ass clips of him not even being able to hold a fucking conversation for 5 minutes. And I showed y'all that. I showed that to people that I was into debates with. They looked at this motherfucker mumble over all kind of shit, say nothing that you could comprehend, and then was like, do you see what Trump's doing to the country? Y'all is funny as shit when y'all get hostile over Trump. That shit is hilarious. Black folks will disown you and treat you like you never even paid their rent before. You say something good about Trump. Now, in retrospect, I always knew what the fuck Trump was talking about when he was at the podium. That don't mean I always agreed, but I agreed way more than you would think. Because I'm not emotional and I listen to what's actually being said and not what I think I hear. That man could say 9 brilliant things, say one thing y'all consider as a fuck up, and the news play that one thing. Either way it go. So here we sit. But the incredible ability that y'all have is to act like you don't see shit. Like, for instance, I put up a baby picture. Oh, this so cute, it's snuggly, cute. Y'all went crazy. Right? I did this on purpose. This is how I trap y'all. Right after I put up the baby picture, I put up a picture of Biden falling up the stairs. Y'all didn't like that. Same people that see the cute little baby. Oh, you don't see the motherfucker you was just arguing about fall up the steps 3 times. Who the fuck? Listen, bro. Listen. Let's talk for a minute. Let's be real. Like, we family. Who the fuck falls upstairs? Like, who the fuck falls going up the stairs? Like, 3 times. Now, granted, every once in a while, we might be in a hurry, so we tried up the steps. I got 3 flights in the crib. Trust me, I know. But I might hit one step, catch my balance, and then I got it. But he wasn't trotting, he was walking. He was just walking. He was doing the presidential stroll. You know, presidents are supposed to look cool and wave and shit. And I think that's where his shit got twisted. Because that's the way his brain worked. See, I've been studying this creature for the last 6 months or so, vigorously. And I'm starting to understand the Biden species. I know how he thinks, kind of. So this is what happens. A lot of times, what y'all would consider idiocy is borderline brilliance. And I'm going to tell you why. It ain't that he fell up the stairs 3 times. Y'all looking at it wrong. It's the reason why he fell. See, he realized at a detrimental moment that he had forgotten the presidential back wave. And as he, now, somebody with less keen senses than the Biden creature, they would have just ignored the fact that they had fucked up and kept going and let the media ridicule them. But the keen senses of the Biden creature, he realized, wait, I fucked up the wave. Wait, they're going to talk about me. So he attempted to relive that fuck up. Now, that's when it got confusing. That's when shit went the wrong way for him. So he did that shit like 3 times. And instead of us talking about, well, no, never mind. We still are saying how big of an idiot he is. But either way it goes, I can't save that. How the fuck you fall upstairs 3 times? This is all I'm asking y'all. Y'all voted for him. Don't act, no. Don't act like you don't see this shit now. The same motherfucker that came to a crowd full of black folks and started talking about cockroaches. Same person. He done fell up the stairs 3 goddamn times, and now don't nobody want to talk to me, huh? That's what's up. Way to take responsibility, Democrats. Hey, it's safe to say this white man's slower than a 3-legged race. But not the kind of slow that is laughable. Honestly, this is medically slow. Something wrong. Like he probably too old. Well, I don't know. The Pope is like 130 or some shit, so I don't know what is wrong with this particular white guy. But the nigga fell up the stairs 3 times. But did y'all see his little presidential speech that he gave? The man was trying to explain something. And in the middle of his explanation, he literally says, oh, never mind. And y'all don't got nothing, huh? That's cool, right? What I'm not understanding is, how come none of the people who talked all of that slick shit about Trump, how come ain't none of y'all got y'all ass on social media apologizing? You can say what the fuck you want to say about Donald Trump. That's one of the coolest white men you ever seen. It's rare you're going to get a white man with fake hair and a pretty woman 30 years his senior, and it's not like his cousin or something. And I ain't even sure if it's his, well, I ain't touching that. He looked better than the other guys in the Oval Office, is all I'm going to say. He's pretty rhythmic for a non-rhythmic white guy. He never fell upstairs, is what I never seen. So maybe he'll get points for that. I don't know. I told y'all ain't none of them shit, but that wasn't good enough for y'all. You had to have one or the other. That's fine. I know how this works. You need a hero. Now, what the fuck is up with your motherfucking health director? See, the thing is, all of this funny shit happening since dude got in here, and don't nobody want to talk about nothing. Y'all back to talking about stupid shit again. Everybody was so fucking political 6 months ago. Now the fucking idiot Buxton went to work, and nobody got a motherfucking thing to say. That's what I don't like about y'all. You will see me come up here in front of the public and admit if I'm wrong. If I get called out on something in the chat box, I admit if I'm wrong. You don't find out you fucked up and keep living your life like you didn't just disrespect half the world and all of your fucking family and friends 6 months ago. Fucking admit it. Dude is slower than a 3-legged fucking race. or he's a bad robot, or a fucked up clone, or whatever the fuck it is going on with him, it's not right. And you can't, honestly, even if, see, the problem is y'all think this shit is real anyway. It's not. This is fucking Sideshow Bob and them. But even if it was real, you can't be sitting here now and looking at what dude has done so far and be like, we better off. We're fucked regardless because white men totally control your existence. So I don't know what the fuck any of y'all hoping for. Like it's a white guy somewhere rooting for black people and he got a lot of power. Good luck with that shit. Fuck out of here, man. If so, we should whoop his ass for not stepping up sooner. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? White people ain't gonna save y'all. Sorry. I know I just ruined it for a lot of y'all. This is like I seen the movie before y'all and I just snitched. I know it's fucked up. But I'm gonna say it again. White people are not gonna ever save you. Now some will help you if you know how to spot them. But nobody's gonna save you. And why would they? The sad part of it is, you secretly think white people at some point are going to come and rescue you. And you're okay with that. Ain't that the lie they telling now? The reason why they locked your ass up and enslaved you is because they had to save you? It's safe to say, white folk definition of saving your black ass and yours may not just coincide. You might need to rethink your strategy. A lot of times when they save you, it involved boats. And we didn't do so good on the last boat ride. Whatever. Now, we got a transgender health director. Now, already, I heard y'all bullshit. Because soon as I put up my advertisement, here they go in my inbox. What I don't understand is the people who are defending their belief systems are frequently looked at as the victim, but they always seem to be the aggressor. Like, I didn't put that flyer in nobody's inbox. I put it on my Facebook page. So I don't understand why people felt the need to inbox me. But that's okay, because I'm going to deal with your ass tonight, baby. See, the thing you're not going to never be able to do is say that I got any type of hatred towards anybody or disdain or anything like that. Because everything that I speak on, I bag up with information. Like I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to tap that ass with some info. I'm not going to get emotional. I can't lie and say I'm going to raise my voice because I damn near just yell right there. So I can't promise you that. But believe it or not, my emotion is controlled emotion. Just because it involves a lot of curse words and my voice go up a lot, that don't mean nothing. Really, exactly. Anyway, so now, here's my thing. Everything has a reason. And you could, once you learn, I tell y'all all the time, this is war. And 90%, hear me when I tell you, 90% of the problems that black people face amongst each other is because we have not accepted the fact that we are currently engaged in war. We don't understand this concept. We think whatever happened, happened, they freed us, and now we just working our way back to being great. If that's what's really going on, You're going to be fucking working your way back to being great forever. Why would anybody let you be great? This is the stupidest shit I never understood. Like the logic of you thinking. We all talk about this thing called white supremacy. We don't even have to give it a name. But we can look around and see globally that those people that we deem the Europeans pretty much run the goddamn planet. You don't gotta like it. You don't gotta nothing. But, I mean, who the fuck got the power in most places? Everywhere you go, it's white people in control of shit mostly. Even in Africa. Mostly Africa is controlled by Arabic or white people. So it ain't too many places you can go where white people ain't dominantly controlling shit. So now, with that being said, that's a thing. You think that somehow, through you just behaving and voting for them, that you're going to undo that. How passive and fucking dumb can we be? And I hate to even say that to my people, but realistically, it come a time where you got to grow up. Like, nobody's giving you no fucking power back. Why? What is invested in them to let you vote your way back to running shit? Why? What the fucking point is that? How does that benefit white people to wake up one day in a world where black people have voted their way back in the... Wouldn't they feel like the biggest idiots? We conquered them, we had our foot on their neck, and we allowed them to vote us out of power. That would make them the dumbest regime in the history of this planet. And seeing as how they've accomplished the most, then we can't call them the dumbest. They have accomplished 5 times more than what Hitler did. So how come you hear Hitler is the worst dictator ever? Hear me when I tell you. United States has conquered 5 times what Hitler has done. And they did it the exact same fucking way. What's the difference? Just your perception of how you see it. So now I say that to say this. The reason why we must understand we're at war, that's square one. Because if we understand we're at war, then we can get fancy and say, okay, well, now that I'm more knowledgeable about war, then I understand there's variations of war. There's different kinds of war tactics and different ways to engage in war. So you can have psychological warfare, just like physical warfare. You could have biological warfare, chemical warfare. You can have literary warfare. See, all of these different ways that you could be engaged in war. The trick is to get you to think, this is the biggest thing. The trick is to get you to think that everything inside of your brain, you put it there. This is the biggest fucking lie. When we say, ain't nobody, and I'm going to tell y'all something weird that I learned that y'all ain't even going to believe, but I seen this with my own eyes. When we say, I keep it 100, that's a lie. When we say, ain't nobody else like me, I'm original, that's a lie. All of these accolades that we give ourselves to try to be a distinct human being that separates ourselves from the others, we don't realize that that's an impossibility. Because we all come from the same source. So the only thing you will get is variations of the same thing. And what I learned from traveling is I literally have been damn near everywhere in this country. About 10 places I haven't been. But my point is, on my travels, I noticed something about people. I would meet the same, I swear to y'all, I'm not lying. I would meet the exact same fucking person in every city. Different name, different, but like the way they walk could be the same. The way they hold conversation. Now I would meet somebody in New York and I would meet somebody in Atlanta. And these two people never even left their home states. And they damn near act just like each other. And it'll be weird. He say the same thing he say, but he just said in the down south way, and he said in the New York way. When they walk off, they got the same kind of walk. The way they move, the movements, it's like, wait a minute, this shit is weird. And then I noticed something. What does this really mean? This means that you're not dealing with people, you're dealing with patterns. So what does that mean? Okay, so then there's something else going on than what we really seeing. There's patterns of behavior. Where does it come from? And then you got to pay attention to what you're a part of. So what I'm saying is we're not all different. We're a lot alike. We've been put under the same system. It's the same system. No matter where you go. You look at Spain as like the Spanish people doing it there. Just because they speak Spanish and look like Spanish people does not mean that they not from the same fucking bloodline. A language is just, it's a region you grew up in. That's got nothing to do with where your blood came from. So if you take the same bloodline and you migrate from Africa to South America, 1,000 years later, you'll be speaking Spanish and not whatever your tribe was speaking, because the generations then switched and you in a different area. So these the things you got to understand. We all, that's why it's called global white supremacy. It happened everywhere around the globe. Now, when you look at it like that, then you have to understand, okay, well, how can they do this on such a large scale? And we don't know it. This is the real deal. When you stop saying it couldn't have happened to me and start questioning, okay, obviously, it all starts with admitting that I have been victimized. So y'all think admitting that I have been victimized makes you a victim. No. There's a difference. Admitting that I have been victimized, until I admit it and acknowledge that, I cannot put myself in a position to grow from it, assess it, and find out how it happened to me. Because if I don't do those things, I can never stop it. We scared to pull ourselves apart because we so emotional. You a slave in a war zone. Cry later. I say that to kings and queens. I know it get rough and it get fucked up sometimes. This is war. Cry later. Your job is to pull all that shit apart and put it back together so that it makes sense. Then you will understand there's no way we all sitting here saying we used to be kings and queens. But when I look around, I see it all fucked up for us. And the catch is none of us care what happened. If you could reach that conclusion right there, common sense will tell you something. It's a thing going on. All of this and nobody cared. Now, what kind of war is this? When you go to war over thousands of years, you have to keep in mind, they're moving forward into a technological era. Not because I say so, but because 50 years ago, your ass was talking on a raggedy ass thing with a goddamn hanger hanging from it. Now you can talk and the TV come on off the wall. Isn't it mighty funny? In the Jetsons, they showed us TVs on the wall and phones where you could see people's face And we thought that shit was what? You could see people's face? That was way out. And you think it's a coincidence that that's here now. You cannot create that from which you do not have. So in order for you to fathom the possibility of a TV going from that little piece of shit to being a picture on the wall that you can talk to and it'll turn on. Remember, the Jetsons used to control everything voice command. Everything was technology and voice command. The cars used to drive themselves around like ours are starting to do now. When they got on the phone, you could see the person you was talking to, which didn't even exist. So we thought, how could they know that the future would look exactly damn near like it do now? See, this is a game that they play and you allow them to play. Ain't no guessing that this was going to happen. They knew what they were going to do because they already had the technology to do it. They are slowly moving you along to a place that they already have a destination for. The technology to get where they trying to get, or anything they show you, they already did it. It's just that simple. We ain't even got to go deep into it. If you see it on TV as they're about to do it, but it ain't out yet, they did it already. They're not showing you some shit. You got to think about it. It's people out here that's got it's billionaires walking around that they don't even know about. If you put an ideal out there that you don't already corner the market on, somebody could come out with your shit and get rich. And take over the fucking world. So by the time they show you that shit, they did it already, or they doing it, they can't do it. So here's the thing. This is why you had a movie called Mannequin. I think it's late 80s, early 90s. Y'all look it up. It's a movie called Mannequin. It's a white dude that basically is a mannequin that when ain't nobody looking, the mannequin come to life and it become his girlfriend type shit. And his best friend was a homosexual black dude named Hollywood. Now, Hollywood is extremely flamboyant. Bright colors, all this type of shit. Now, you have to understand that these movies is not just movies. They setting the trend for something. Now, who would think that after you see a movie where a man falls in love with a mannequin, what follows after that is sex dolls? You see what I'm saying? And we don't even pay attention to, all you gotta do is look at the dates. I already checked. It was no sex dolls yet. Blow up dolls, they wasn't here yet. But they plant the seed for this possibility for a man to actually care for something that's not actually alive. Because what's at the core of the movie? The mannequin can't really be alive, but it comes alive for him. Okay, a sex doll is not really alive, but it comes alive for you. See, this is what I say to y'all when I say, whatever they trying to tell y'all that's finna happen, AI taking over and all of these different things, it's already happening. This is artificial intelligence. Because listen, now, I said that thing to the queens about y'all having the toys and whatnot. But before y'all had the toys, they made the blow-up doll first. And then the blow-up doll had the face and the vagina. So you could really have both fantasies with a fucking balloon. Who thinks of this? And what's the purpose? So now, if my wife and I are at odds with each other, sometimes y'all will make up just because, hey, ain't that one of us had nothing in a minute. I ain't mad no more. Let's get it. But not if she could shake herself to death and he could go get the blow up. Keep in mind, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. It always goes back to what they believe. You can't separate the two. You believe man and a woman make a baby. Your ancestors had a pyramid, the Holy Trinity. Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Father, Mother, Son. The Holy Trinity. They changed it to Father, Son, Holy Ghost. They removed the woman because this is a homosexual cult. Religion is not a real thing. This is what y'all got to get your mind out of. Religion is not something God did. Religion is a man-made tool. If God is within, God does not have to tell you what you're supposed to do. Religion is a man-made tool. So now, they are psychologically removing the woman. Then what does the religion tell you? The woman is the fall of humanity. So first is Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. They remove you out the Trinity. And then at the beginning of the book, you are the one who calls for the fall of humanity. Who does this other than? Now, on one end, when I say these things, everybody say, you wrong. How you know that? You don't got to know shit to look at the signs. In the fuck 2 + 2 is 4. Just look at it. Who else? Why would God create a system where the only way you can get onto this planet is through the womb of a woman? There's no other way that we're aware of to enter this planet but through the womb of a woman. That's the only way you can get here. And now that that system is here, the Holy Trinity, the most holy 3 things in existence, is the Father and the Son. What the fuck did the Son do? If the Holy Ghost is a mandatory, why can't we have Father, Mother, and Holy Ghost? Why is the mother gone? There's no other way to bring life. So how can you have a holy anything and you're removing the vessel of life from the equation? Now, we have to break that down, because if we don't go there, the next part don't make sense. What comes right after this understanding? Now that we understand that remove the woman from divinity, now we can come back down to earth and look at what we see on earth. We've already established the European is who we know is. We all can agree that's who's in power. Now with their power, they've set up religious systems. And the most prevalent religious system in existence is Catholicism. Okay, so now, when we look at Catholicism, aka Christianity, it all falls up under the same thing. They will say it doesn't, but that's white boy bullshit. So now when you look at it, it has removed the woman, and it's just Father and Son. The woman is the cause for the fall of humanity. And it's Father and Son. And the way the Son got here was through the mother, but with no male interaction. So no man had to have intercourse with this woman in order for her to bring forth the Son. But every man you ever seen on this planet, every woman you ever seen on this planet got here by male-female intercourse. But God deems, the way I'm going to start it out, I'm going to contradict all of that. And then I'm going to teach that the woman shouldn't be in the equation. This sounds like a homosexual doctrine to me. This is my opinion. If you have an opinion that contradicts that, I would love to hear it. But no heterosexual, nobody is removing the woman from divinity when she's the one who brings life here. That's retarded. So now let's take it a step further. Now, you see, I brought up the Hollywood and the mannequin thing because it's a two-part scenario. Now, the one thing about Hollywood is, at this time when this movie came out, you did not really see homosexuals in movies like that. You've always had one. I ain't saying that. But Hollywood represented the new era. The flamboyant, I'm proud of it, I'm sassy, snap the fingers, that one. Bright colors, dress fly. Okay, so now you have to understand the importance of the tail live vision. It's there to paint a picture for you. So now you're looking at, right after him, you're starting to see this particular character almost becomes a mandatory for a hit movie. You got all of this thing going on, and in the middle of whatever the fuck, it's always the black flamboyant homosexual. Becomes an intricate part of these movies. As you see it more in movies, you see it more in society. Your mind tells you, it's the new millennium. This is just the way it goes. People have the right to do what they want to do. You are being molded. You don't... No one in control allows the people that it controls the freedom to freely think. This is the illusion. While you walk around every day with no one hovering over you directly telling you what to do, everything is designed to tell you what to do. For instance, you drive down, if you're on the freeway, you looking at nothing but billboards that's telling you what to do. You get hungry, you look at the options. You might not be hungry, and you go past a big bulletin board with a steak on it. Now you got a taste for steak. You might not even notice it until later on when your queen asks you what you want. You say, baby, I got a taste for steak. You don't even know why. Nobody spends... Those big-ass billboards cost a couple $1,000s. Now, I say something like that, and you be like, that shit don't influence me. You think somebody took $5,000 on a big-ass sign, put it over the freeway for nothing, because it doesn't affect people. Are you fucking kidding me? There's a lot of ways you can advertise without spending $5,000 on a freeway. It's there because it works. This is subliminal suggestion. And this is what happens to you everywhere you go. And anytime society starts to challenge the subliminal suggestion, they come up with ways to shun you, usually attach a word and phobia to it. Whatever the situation is, they put phobia on the end of it. You get scared and you walk away from your beliefs. Everything is by design. So now, it's a progression. Keep in mind, we never talk about the devil until it's convenient. Because for your problems, you will blame the devil all the time. When I tell you the devil controlling this planet and controlling us, you'll tell me I'm crazy. If I tell you everybody's satanic, you'll tell me not everybody ain't satanic. Says who? Do you have evidence to support that? You don't. It's just your belief that everybody ain't. You don't know how you know that, but you say, ain't no way it could be. That's not possible. You don't got nothing supporting that though. Psychology of marketing. You don't got nothing supporting that. Just a firm belief that what I'm saying can't be a reality. Okay, so now, here's the thing. You really think if the television hadn't got them what they wanted for all these years, it would still be here? You think the only thing they want is to just show you movies and make money. How come all the movies are about the same thing? Tell me I'm wrong. When's the last time you seen a movie that was about something you never seen a movie about before? When was the last time you seen a movie about something that you never seen a movie about before? I'll wait. Why every superhero movie is some villain that comes from somewhere and wants to take over the world? And then somehow, through all this adversity, the good guys always win. And the superhero white man music comes on. We get excited, the end. So when you see homosexuality advance in cinema, we're not talking right or wrong. We're talking what we see. You see it advancing in cinema. Understand, contrary to what you may believe or have been told, it's not advancing in cinema because society is getting more open-minded. Society does what it's told. If society is getting more open-minded, it's only because somebody wants society more open-minded. Perfect example. For those people who say society is getting more open-minded and that's why we got transgender people, well, how come society still haven't stopped beating the fuck out black people? Society's so much more open-minded. Go in the comment section of every last killing of black people in the last 5 years and read the atrocious things white people say. You got unarmed black people being murdered by cops, clearly. And you go into the comment section and read, that's what the nigger get. He shouldn't have been doing this and he shouldn't have been doing that. No sympathy. But wait a minute. Society's getting more open-minded, ain't they? About everything but niggas, huh? We more tolerant with gay. We more tolerant with transgender. We more tolerant with immigrants. We more tolerant with white people voicing their disdain for us. We more tolerant with police brutality. Fuck Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, all lives matter. We more tolerant with everything until it gets to black folk. Then we got zero tolerance, lock them up. Mace the crowd, lock them up, whoop their ass, kill them on spot. No tolerance for that. One man allegedly writing bad checks. So fucking what? I don't give a fuck if he wrote a bad check for $100 million. It's a check. You caught him, take him to jail. Why does he end up on a group? Why did he apparently end up on the ground with his fucking neck cracked? There was no tolerance that day. See, this is the game. There was no open-mindedness. This is the game they playing. Y'all allowed them to play. So we're not going to talk about the world is more open-minded until they stop killing niggas. So until they stop killing niggas and getting off the hook, fuck your open-mindedness. How come we got so much patience for a man in a dress, but not a black man with a son? Huh? We so much more understanding if a man put on a dress. A black man can put on a dress and get any fucking thing he want. But a masculine, strong black man, such as myself, can't stand in front of you and get shit unless I take it from you. And y'all don't see a problem with that? You gonna tell me, get off that, let people live their life. Shut the fuck up. If you gonna say get off that, let people live my life, let me live mine. And mine is attacking white supremacy and all the bullshit that come with it. If you're an advocate of letting people live their life, when you see me on their ass, let me live mine. Because I'm not gonna get up off for nothing. Now, everything got a point of origin and everything got a purpose. So, like I said, when you allow men to have sexual relationships in a movie and it become a hit, you're programming something. So now, if we got all of these different substitutes for a healthy relationship, but then you look at society and see why everybody complaining about not having a good counterpart. Because you can vibrate yourself and he can go get an oral sex doll. or a hooker. So, as long as these things are available, how do you have a society that condemns a man for cheating when society, now we're not saying cheating is right. Well, my point is on a societal level. Society makes amenities for cheating. They got secret dating hotlines. They got sex dolls. They got the sex trade. They got the porn industry. They got massage parlors. They got all of these things that cater to infidelity. But if you get caught, you get publicly reprimanded. Why doesn't society have a zero tolerance for it? We only have a zero tolerance for the person who gets out. Because see, these things are set up for the people who tell you don't do them. And because we poisoned by them, we get caught up doing the shit that they doing that we shouldn't even be fucking with. Now, if I can get you to have sex with a sex doll, and I can get you to have sex with the same sex, now we must understand. Who told you, okay, let's do it like this. Two men find each other attractive and become homosexual. Okay. Who told you that one of them has to begin acting like a woman? Who told you, who told anybody that a homosexual man, that merely means you like to have sex with men? Who told you that you have to behave like a woman in order to like to have sex with men? Who told you that? Now, that's what we see societally. But who told you that? You've seen it on TV. You've seen that the black homosexual acts feminine. And so, when you become a black homosexual, this is what you do. These white men running these corporate companies, most of them are homosexuals. But they show you pictures of them with wives and all kind of shit. See, that everything is a psychology. Our job is to understand that there's a thing going on here. Here's my point. The reason why they showed you years, decades of homosexuals behaving feminine is because everything is evolution. First, we have to get you to agree that you have the right to be a homosexual. See, when you change the wording, who told you you didn't have a right? Who told you that if you and two men fall in love with each other, whatever the fuck it is that y'all do, who told you that y'all can't have y'all relationship and behind your closed doors, and when you done, continue with your masculine day? Who told you that you have to embrace femininity? You've seen it. And the reason why you've seen it is because they understood that getting you to say that you have the right to be homosexual was only phase one. Now, once you have the right, now we need to get you to encapsulate feminine energy. Now, once you encapsulate feminine energy, then they start changing their name, the cute little nicknames, feminine nicknames and shit like that. Then you grab a purse, and then you play dress up, and you slowly start becoming a woman. So, since this was the later on vision, they had to make it okay. So now, we got a whole community, and we got a name for it. It's transgenderism. But before they did that, before they hit you with the transgenderism, let's take a look at 90s and 2000 cinema. You had a lot of big time stars. Big Mama House, Tuwon Fu. You had all of these different shows. Martin is playing Shanae. On In Living Color, in Living Color, Jim Carrey had played a female role. They played a couple homosexual and female roles on their Living Color show. If you look all throughout the 90s and the early 2000s, you'll see what did Dave Chappelle say he left Hollywood for? Because they tried to make him put a dress on. When you see Martin in Big Mama's house 3 times, that's not, yeah, he played a funny grandma. That was his way of putting a spin on it because they told him he was going to have to put a dress on. So him and his genius, okay, so that I could keep my audience on some masculine shit, I could play a ruthless grandma. And who picked up on that blueprint and ran with it? Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry became Madea after Big Mama House and took the whole concept and ran with it and became the biggest black star in Hollywood. So what you had to do to become the biggest black star in Hollywood is be a horrible fucking actor and be a weed-smoking, pistol-toting black grandmother. Think about that. This was a church program. Tyler Perry was a pastor at the church. He was a fucking pastor of his church. And put on the Madea thing. And now, he become a household name. Smoking weed and toting pistols and running in front of police. And then they throw a good message and sing gospel all through there. Pay attention to what's being done to you. This is war. It's a reason why he made the most money for consistently putting on. It's like 30 Madeas. That means he keep putting on that dress. He love it. You see when they try to put him in a straight role as in the Alex Cross, but man, that was horrible. I read those James Patterson books. Alex Cross is a beast. That dude looked extremely uncomfortable in his own skin. Then he had a kissing scene. Oh my fucking goodness. If anybody bought that, hang yourself. You could tell this is not a heterosexual man. Now, is there a good or a bad about that? It's the energy of what's being held in high regard for little black children to see is what the problem is. See, y'all always want to look at, am I right or am I wrong? Who gives a fuck whether you're right or wrong? What's the overall and the underall meaning to what's going on? And how does it affect us as a people long term? Seeing a black man in a dress for any reason repeatedly does not help the esteem of confused little black men. Keep in mind, Madea is targeting who? Black mothers. Where are black children at? A large percentage of them are sitting at home without a father, or if there's a male role model in there, oftentimes not the biological, not always, but we got to keep it real. For all of y'all gonna say, don't be trying to act like ain't none of us grew. Oh, shut the fuck up. I didn't say none of y'all. Of course, some of us grew up in great homes and don't understand that side of it. Beautiful. But for those that did, and there's a lot more of us that seen that side of us, we have to keep it real. A lot of little black boys beat my mama's in the chat room. I spent most of my time hanging out with my mama. Black fathers from my daddy generation and beyond. And this is why it's crazy that they put these generations to say we the worst with our children. Our fathers couldn't fuck with us like that. So you see black fathers hanging out with their kids more than ever now. But you listen to the media and just talk about child support and you look at social media, you would think we ain't never there. When I'm outside in the streets, I see black fathers with their kids, not white men, everywhere. I go to the mall. You go to the mall this weekend, you're going to see black people with kids, especially with the men. But either way it go, we have to understand that this is a attack on the black family. This is what you're not understanding. Why you thinking about all of this freedom? There is no fucking freedom. So now you're being shifted in a certain direction. So all they had to do was get black women to take up the argument that their little black child has the right to be gay. You got to think about it. The fathers is in the penitentiary on a large scale. So you leaving the little black boys at home with black women. And now she's the primary everything. So through no fault of her own, and a lot of times she don't always have the time or maybe the energy or maybe even the understanding or a combination of all to put what she has to put into making sure that neither her or her child are deceived. She can only do so fucking much. So now you got a young black boy being raised up under feminine energy, and even though she's strong, most of the television programming shows you docile black men, and then you have an overabundance of these Tyler Perry ass movies. All of the black movies are what? Comedy and overly emotional Big Mama House type bullshit. Why? Because that's the energy where they want to keep you at. That's where they want to keep you at. Thinking that it's always going to be a pimp somewhere. It's always an alcoholic somewhere. It's always a dope fiend somewhere. It's always a bad mother somewhere. Abusive father. Every fucking Madea show is like that. And we eat it up. Why do they make them shows so horrible? They tell you we're dealing with what's in our community. You're a motherfucking lie. You eating off the horrors of our community. And you making us stay in that energy. Because if all we watch is the horror part, then that's where we stay at frequency-wise. So now, once they got the black woman all alone, having to make these decisions, and then not only did they get you alone, they got you convinced that being alone is better for you. We enter an era where every other black woman got fuck a nigga on her mind. Treat these niggas like they did us. And when you listen to the, like, and I get it. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel the effects of what the women been telling us now. All these years when men were so careless about how they was behaving towards women, especially sexually. And now, when women approach it the same way we did, it disgusts me. I don't like it on either end now, to be honest with you. But when I hear it come from the women, it sounds so much worse because it's get back energy. And revenge is always going to be worse than the initial offense. In any situation, if you shoot me and I get back at you, I'm not just going to shoot you one time, I'm going to kill you. You see what I'm saying? If you push me and I get up, I'm going to punch you. I'm not going to push you again. Revenge is always going to be worse than the initial offense. So now when the queens is under this get back energy, it becomes so much more harsh and lawless than the men. Because this is an interpretation of what you felt men was doing. We're not dealing with whether it's right or wrong. But what we're dealing with is this is merely your interpretation being passed down through different mind states. So the first females who got tired of men being these players or whatever the fuck, they put that energy out there however they put it out there. Then the next group of queens caught on, oh, like, that's what this is, okay. So now these queens is wise are like, oh, no. So now by the time we get down to this generation, y'all so game conscious, it's like everything that's said to you could be taken extremely harsh because you on edge already because it's been so many, and I get it, there's been so many fuck niggas in y'all lane. Right now, you really don't got the patience to really even see if this is what it's supposed to be. Fuck it. I know what keep me safe. What keep me safe is doing them how they do us. It's that energy out there. So where's the energy coming from? The music. The music is no different than the television. In these movies, when you see black movies, you don't see black movies with healthy black relationships. The only healthy black relationships we have was the goddamn Cosby's. And we found out he raped women. Look what that did. So, you got to think about it. Everything is a learned behavior. So, when you look at the standing between us relationship-wise, this is a learned behavior. We didn't just wake up one day like, you know what, I hate black women, I hate black men. No, this is a learned behavior. Who learned it to you and for what? Now, do you think it's a huge coincidence that as we sit on the verge of the WAP video, wet ass pussy, completely objectifying slutism, embracing it and loving it. And right as we sit on the verge of that, you got an enormous rise in transgenderism. Now, we not understanding all of this come from somewhere. Because if I can tell you in an era where you went from women barely showing their body parts to wet ass pussy in 50 years. Now that may seem like a long time to y'all, but no other civilization ever advances this quick. 50 years? That's not a long time. That's my lifetime. In my lifetime, I've watched male and female relationships completely 360. Just think about that. In one lifetime, the entire dynamics of black relationships has completely 360 for the negative in a 50-year time period. Right on the back of coming off the worst slavery in human history. 200-something years later, we sit in a space where we damn near hate each other. And you think we did that. So if we didn't do it, who did and for what purpose? It always goes back to, I have to be willing to admit, fuck, they got me. Okay, who did and for what purpose? Now, if you can think about who did and for what purpose, let's rewind a little bit. Let's rewind the tape a little bit. Didn't we see Amber Rose with Kanye West? Now here we got a white girl who, the way this is how they marketed her. Now y'all gotta pay attention. She got a body like a black woman. She bad as hell. This was the marketing strategy. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that right there. To market her, they marketed her saying she got a body like a black woman. Absolutely. The queen said, yes, women are angry at the men for not stepping up, and the men are blaming the women for their demise. We fail to see the puppet pulling the strings. It's all by design. Absolutely right. Because the men were, the men didn't step up by design. The men got redirected. The men did step up, but they got redirected in what stepping up is. And the women did participate in the demise of the masculine black man, but not understanding what her participation was. And that was a great point. We're going to deal with that in a second. But I want to deal with this Amber thing for a minute, because the psychology behind this is so deep, you got to catch it. They told you she got the body like a black woman. And then they put her with Kanye. Then after Kanye, she jumped in with Wiz. That thing was so good, he got her face tattooed on his body. I don't even want nothing that good. If you got the kind of thing to make a brother want to tattoo his face on you, and I see y'all too. That what y'all be on social media bragging about how good it is. You be the same queen next month talking about this nigga crazy. He just towed my car up and now he want. Next time I catch one of y'all motherfuckers, I'm gonna gradually go back and I'm gonna put on your home page a screenshot of that one time you told us how fat that nookie was. And I'm gonna attach it to your complaints about how crazy that Negro done got. Go and be proud of it and drive another one mad to the madhouse if you want to. Anyway, nigga be shooting up whole communities trying to stop somebody from spending the night at your house. You done invited that nigga over. Why y'all want to shoot the nigga that cheat? I don't get it. Either way it go. Now, but understand, body of a black woman. They put it with two prominent black entertainers. Now, she rode the wave. Y'all got to understand, when they put them with these dudes, it equals enormous popularity. What the fuck? Her bag gets stupid as hell just being next to one of them. Because she get interviews. She get promotional opportunities, reality series opportunities. She get a lot of opportunities offered to her merely because she's the girlfriend of Kanye West. She's the girlfriend of Wiz Khalifa, and they're madly in love. So everybody wants this fairy tale love story, and he was simping so fucking hard, they gave y'all the... And why did they do this? Because remember, she got the body of a black woman. And then here comes the undercut. Now she get with the rapper with no testicles, the dude who they kicked out the country. And she got this thing called slut shaming. And then she does the slut shaming and the slut walk. And she does this for 2 years. And she got thousands of women of all races carrying signs glorifying the freedom to be a slut. But only they call it sexual freedom. But she calls it slut shaming. But in these debates, it's about being sexually free. So the new argument is, don't bind her womanhood. She has the right to be sexually free just like men are. So what you're promoting is, don't be loyal. You can be sexually free. That's the equivalent of saying, you can't get mad at me for beating someone to death. You did it. Does that argument work? Can I say rape ain't the same because you raped them? No. Rape is rape. Being a slut is being a slut. There's no such thing as sexual fucking freedom when your husband is at home asleep. Heifer. Sexually free. These are terms. Because here's the thing. If you allow me to say that there's a such thing as being sexually free, then if you miss that, you definitely ain't going to catch it when I start using phrases like gender neutral. Gender neutral? What the fuck is gender neutral? The same bullshit as sexually free. See, we hear terms and we repeat them as if we don't understand the nature of words. I created my own language. when I want to describe something in my language and I can't, you know what I do? I make up a word. I just right off the top of my head. And guess what's the beauty of that? Whatever the fuck I say the word mean, that's what it means. Okay, they got the biggest language on the planet. Which means anytime they want to, they can add a word. And you, fucktard, go right behind them and use it as if it's an actual thing. I had to tell somebody, these are white people words. They mean something because they mean something to y'all. To me, when I hear any of this shit, this is what I hear white people saying. Until we get to the part where black people get to do what we're supposed to do, everything before that, after that, and in the middle is, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. There's no such fucking thing as sexually free. Just like there's no such fucking thing as gender neutral. I did this before, and it sucks that I have to do it again, but let's go over this very slowly, boys and girls. Boys have an Audi, girls have an innie. Say it again with me, class. Boys have an Audi, girls have an innie. How the fuck did we confuse this? What the fuck is so, why is this an issue that has become complicated? When you are born with your sex. How can we say we believe in a God? Whatever God you believe in, I don't give a fuck which one it is. But you believe in something greater than you that created us. But it fucked up by giving you a penis. That's the one mistake it made. It made the moon, the stars, oceans, all kind of sea creatures, all kind of shit in overabundance to fucking perfection. But when it got to your vagina, well, I'll be damned. It ought not be here. Don't that sound dumb as fuck? That the one mistake the creator made is with your penis? And you got fucking adults co-signing this. Okay, well, if we can make sense out of this, it's not that complicated. Then there's a thing going on. Somebody's got a thing going on because this is common sense. That your sex is whatever you was born with. How can you be born with it and deny it? Now let me tell you, and now what they say is that the child has the right to explore their sexuality. Why? Why does the child have the right to do that? The child was born with what it has sexually. Why does a child that is born a girl, what even makes a child that was born a girl look up at its parent and say, I want to be a boy? We got two scenarios. First scenario is, you're a fucking liar, it didn't happen. That's what I'm going with more than likely. The other scenario is, this little child has seen something that has triggered its thought process. Now, here's dumb fuck, where you're supposed to get your stupid ass in here and be a good parent. So little Sarah says, Mommy, I want to be a boy. The reason why I'm laughing is because I had a response that almost came out that all of y'all would have probably left. And I don't even know where it came from, but it was really weird in a crazy ass voice. So I had to catch it. But now that we're back to our senses, okay. So Sarah wants to be a little boy. Now, you are supposed to ask Sarah why. More than likely, Sarah got her hair pulled by some little boys. And they've been doing it all fucking week. So because children are way smarter than we give them credit for, Sarah had deducted that if she was a boy, at least through recess, she could punch the shit out of little Bradley and little Timmy and them, and life would be better for her. You and your fucked up, drunken, Vicodin, confused ass, Tramadol state as a fucking parent, hear that shit and be like, well, if you're not feeling okay with identifying as a girl today, it's okay. Maybe today will just be a boy for the day. We'll call you Steven. Now she's happy. Not because she really wants to be a boy, but because in her mind, you just solved the problem of her being able to punch Timmy tomorrow. So she's going to go to school and she's going to get a fucked up reality. Because she's going to go to school thinking that she's a boy. And she's going to run up on little Timmy and smack him with a teddy bear and get her ass drugged to the cafeteria. Oh, my Lord. This is the shit. And then look, as soon as Timmy dragged her little ass through the cafeteria and beat the brakes off of her, then y'all going to put in the school paper that this was a fucking transphobic attack by a 5th grader. No, 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 no. Timmy don't even know what transgender is. He just know that little heifer slapped her with a teddy bear while he was trying to get his annihilator. He was opening it up, it fell out the pack, hit the ground. It was the last one. Fuck transphobic. I'm finna transform this little heifer until I feel better. That's what really happened. Had nothing to do with transgender. Timmy don't even know what transgender is. When they told him in the school office that he was in trouble for transphobia, he told them, I didn't even bring my toys to class. He thought they was talking about one of his Transformer dolls. Timmy don't got a fucking clue. Okay? So y'all can stop fucking with kids. Let them have their little world. She deserved that ass whooping, not because she really deserved it, but because maybe she'll learn not to trust her dumb ass mama so much in the future. Now, I'm sorry, but sometimes life got to give you harsh lessons like that. It's happened to a lot of people who mistaken themselves for the opposite sex and got their ass whooped. It happens quite a bit. And then what do they say? They say transgender attacks. Let me tell you something. I'm going to be honest. Have you ever been around a proudly homosexual or transgender person? I don't know if it's the criteria, part of the culture, or some shit that they discuss through text message and we don't know about. But every last one of them I ever met is angry as fuck. And they be talking real slick. Don't think just because I ain't no real man, you won't get these hands. Motherfucker be on the ground holding their shit. As soon as you clock one of them, it's always a white, I don't know. I'm starting to think this shit be a setup. How come every time you might go 6 months and don't be nowhere near a homosexual or a transgender dude? On the 7th month, you meet one randomly, get into an altercation and punch him. Watch it be 7 cameras outside. Where the fuck did these people come from? And I ain't talking about regular people with iPhones. I'm talking about soon as you hit a transgender person, CBS gonna be standing right there. I don't know how, but I seen this shit with my own eyes. I seen a transgender person in a dress start a fight, and they was both drunk, so it was funny as hell. But anyway, start a fight with another drunk motherfucker, and the next thing you know, it's about to go down. The transgender is talking cash money shit. And I think he forgot he had the dress on because he didn't turn nigga on. I'm talking about he and his, to my nigga, what you want to do? I'm like, well, first of all, the wrong move in that dress, he going to slip and get fucked up and I'm going to record it. That's what I was thinking. Now, it almost happened. It's almost like I manifested that, but something else happened a little, actually a lot more funnier. So instead of slipping and falling on the dress, he got slipped and knocked out onto the dress. Same thing. What made it so... What made it so funny is when she hit the ground, the dress flew up and covered his face. And why this nigga had on some blue jean shorts? Oh my God. Why this nigga had on some blue jean shorts up under his dress? Like man blue jean shorts up under the dress. So I don't know what the science behind that was. But he got his ass stretched out on top of that dress. And that motherfucker flew up. But I swear, out of nowhere, it was a news crew. Like, where the fuck did, I'm not serious. Where the fuck did the news crew come from, bro? They was just there, on site, talking already and shit. That's how I recognized them. I'm sitting here laughing. I'm dying. I'm crying and shit. And then I hear some shit like, wait a minute. And I look. And this bitch over there with the microphone, yeah, this is Channel 17 reporting. My name is Gail. Where the fuck y'all come from? And they was on it. So yes, we have what she say? We have another incident in the current spree of transgender attacks. Spree? Wait a minute. Wait. There's a spree of transgender attacks? How did I miss it? Somebody's running around beating up men in dresses and we don't know about it. That's the one thing they're going to make sure they tell you. You notice every time you whoop one of them or one of them get their ass whooped, they tell you there's been a recent string of attacks against transgender people. They always tell you, like, it's never an isolated incident. It's like it's been happening for a minute. And I always wonder, okay, well, who is the other niggas in dresses that got whooped this month? Because I ain't heard shit. Same way the news crew pop up out of nowhere. I wonder if they send these people out to start shit and wait around the corner. I don't know. But that's my experience with a transgender getting knocked out in blue jean shorts. I don't even know what I got to do with anything. But you got to admit, it was funny as shit. Because I swear to God, I laughed for a really long time. But now my thing is, now you got your health director. The health director. See? Y'all just let shit happen. In case you haven't noticed, I'm extremely analytical. I analyze everything. So, here's the first thing that just hit me just out the blue. You a whole man. Like a whole one. Have you seen this big bitch? I'm sorry, that shouldn't have came out like that. I'm trying to be respectful. Have you seen... Well, first of all, I went to watch some footage because I must admit, I didn't know very much about the topic. I just knew I wanted to talk about it. I don't even know what happened. Something happened, pissed me off, and here we are. That's usually how it works. So either way it goes. So I'm like, okay, well... Oh, I know what it was. I'm going to tell you in a minute. So I said, well, I'm finna look into this particular person to see what's happening. And what shocked me at first was, I'm looking at the look. You got a big ass head. So obviously was a chunkier man that decided he wanted to be a woman. Whatever. Tomato, tomato. Your thing. I don't judge. Well, I do, but never mind. So anyway, so... It's an ugly ass woman. I'm just going to say it. I don't see how you had to be an ugly fucking man. I don't see how becoming a woman made this any better for you. But here you sit with a big ass blonde crinkly wig on. And that's fine. But I'm going to admit, I got caught up in the hype. I don't know what I expected. But when dude, I ain't finna keep calling him no woman, fuck that. When dude took the microphone and started to talk, the motherfucker was like this. I just feel like this transgender shit, this gotta be a process. Like, if you gonna have on the dress, you shouldn't have hairy legs. You niggas be wearing dress with hairy legs. You confused. You're going to be a woman? Like, nobody want to see those hairy fucking legs coming up under a goddamn flower dress. It's already bad enough. We got to look at you. Like, you niggas be ugly as hell. Then you got hairy legs. That shit is fucked up. So I wonder, who the fuck are you dressing up for? Who is the other man that like men with mustaches in dresses with hairy legs? This is a fucked up ass combination in the first place. I'm glad y'all found each other. Whoever y'all are. This is a fucked up ass match. The nigga that likes you in that motherfucking flower dress with hairy legs, some goddamn heel shoes on, and a mustache. And then if you catch me looking at you too long, you be like, bro, you know you look fucked up. Like, why do y'all come outside looking like that and get mad at us for looking at you? I'm trying to figure out what the fuck going on so I know how to... You ain't want a motherfucker to address you properly. If I should have to get past you or something, I don't know what to say to you. Excuse me, ma'am, sir. I don't be knowing what the fuck going on. So I admit, sometimes y'all catch me trying to figure y'all out. But that by no means I want you to speak or that I plan on speaking. I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck going on sometimes. That's all it be. I've been working on my response time when I see y'all so that it happen quicker for me and get up out of there. But sometimes y'all combo be fucking my head up. But either way it go, what I'm saying is this right here. It's a fucking, y'all gotta take some steps into this thing. By the time you get to the point where you're doing dresses and wigs and shit, I figure like you should have practiced your voice or something. You don't got the right to walk up to a motherfucker looking like a woman and be like, hello. That shit is weird as hell. This motherfucking health director, when that motherfucker started talking, I didn't know what the fuck was going on when that deep ass voice came. But this was the shit that was funny as fuck. And really not funny though. Because where I'm going with this is this. This is the health director. Health is what's best for the individual. This is about to be the health director for the most powerful nation on the planet. Health. What's best for you? And it hasn't even decided what's best for itself in its own skin. How can you teach me about health when you're not healthy? You're overweight and you're trying to be an opposite sex of who you are. That's not healthy. How the fuck you gonna teach about health when you're an overweight man dressed like a woman? You're not healthy. Nothing fucking about you is healthy. How did you get in charge of directing health? Now that may sound harsh until you see what happens next. Because I see about 4 or 5 of y'all left. I don't give a fuck. Bye. Can't no fat he, she teach me how to be healthy. And should I teach the whole nation? How the fuck are you overweight teaching health? How the fuck are you overweight responsible for the nation's health? You just got to think about the psychology behind that. And health is a lot of different things. Health is health. You don't know what sex you want to be. And you can't find your catch weight, motherfucker. There's a lot of shit going on that you should be worried about instead of trying to tell a nation what to do. But for those who think I'm being harsh, watch what comes next. So now what this new health director is trying to do is become in charge of the they getting estrogen blockers and the surgery. So this health director is basically, and the Biden administration is pushing for the rights for 15-year-olds to get the sex change without the parents' consent. That's what they're pushing through legislation right now, attempting to make it so that a 15-year-old can change their gender without parental consent. And that involves self-mutilation. We don't even need like a child to tend to a cut on their own. You're talking about little young men and young women at 15. Oh, absolutely, God. We up here Sunday, Tuesdays, and then I do a combined show on Thursdays, and we go hard like this every time. I got a Patreon too. I'll put the Patreon in the chat section for you, and we got the only real HBCU in the nation. And I'm glad the brother stopped me because y'all done fell off. I had consistently where it wasn't one week that went past where at least 1 or 2 black folks didn't sign up to the academy. As it stands, it's been damn near a full 2 weeks, and it's only been 2 black folk. That ain't what's up. And Prairie, I love you so much. That's the only reason why I don't be tearing your ass up. You of all people, I don't give a fuck if you don't take the class. You should have at least signed up. I don't care if you don't study nothing. You be up here for 3 goddamn hours with me, Perry. But you tell me, I be so busy, I don't have time. You been up here for an hour, black man. I don't have a course that's longer than an hour. So you got time, God. You could have been took the course. If I can't, I'm from the streets, and I'm from the rap game. So the only people that I'm really trying to save, I ain't saying the only people that I'm trying to save, but who I feel like need it the most and will benefit the most is where I come from, the hood. I'm here to educate the hood, the streets, the trap. That's who I'm aiming at. Motherfuckers who like rap music and hot wings. That's who my shit is for. If anybody else catch it, beautiful. But I'm aiming at where I came from. That's who I teach every night. So I need people like you to take it and say, I fucked with it. Just like Taz Raw jumped in, and when he jumped in, it made other people at least question me about it. Now, I didn't get no more rappers after him, but I got a couple rappers that question me like, hey, what's up with that? I need y'all to jump in it. Everybody who ever touched the course absolutely fucking loved it. I had 2 people drop off out of 20 plus. Right now we got a 100% success ratio, and it's the only HBCU in existence. There's no such thing as HBCUs in America because they always created by Jewish white men. So how the fuck you gonna be a historical black college when Jewish white men built you? So with that being said, what we do, Peace Queen, what we do is educate black people up here, man. We do it 3 nights a week, and I need y'all to jump on the Patreon, man, and get into the academy. Let's spread this shit and get the information out there. We building a nation. We got our own language, we got our own flag, and we got our own educational system. Those are the 3 pillars of a society. What are we waiting on? Do you realize with those 3 things, we could come to the table to America and they would have to change how they deal with us. They would not be, if we came together with those 3 things, when they did that to George Floyd, you see how they just made that $27 million? That would have came to the nation. They would have had to pay the nation if they touched one of us. Not just no one parent. You touch somebody in our nation, you owe the nation. Or you owe war. Choose one. Have you on while I'm doing other things. I definitely plan on getting that info, bro. Hey, you can have the class on while you're doing other things. I don't want to hear that shit. The class is the same thing as this. It's only me talking with slides and shit. So you could literally be working on your next track. Goddammit, letting somebody, I know you one of them exotic fly niggas. You might be having a queen feed you grapes or some shit. Whatever the fuck you got going on, you could do that shit listening to me. Same thing. Fuck all that shit. I know how you get out. You like to get on your fly shit, riding in foreign vehicles and shit. Okay, well, you take her ass, sit her in the front seat. She can hold the grapes, my nigga, and y'all can push play. That's how I get it in. I squeeze education into everything I do. I'm telling you, man, right. It be a lecture on right before I'm finna do it. I can't even lie. We ain't ready yet. I'm trying to roll up. I turn the lecture on. Bro, I'm about this education. I'm going to learn every chance I get. And yeah, I know you probably do great. Hey, y'all, that's like my little brother, man. That's my people. But I need black folks in here. Because if I built it for y'all and y'all ain't coming, then what am I doing? They going to kill me for nothing. They going to try to kill me for this shit. Soon as they find out, which fuck them. But I don't want to die and I only got 50 students. The fuck? Then after they kill me, one of y'all going to take over, tell the world how brilliant I was, and you going to make more money than you ever seen in your life off black education. Same nigga that was telling me, I don't know about this school shit. I know how y'all do. Don't try to wait me out, nigga. You Negroes ain't going to wait me out. Hey, but look, though. All bullshit aside. You just got to peep the plot and see where this thing is headed and what they doing. When you got a health director that does not epitomize health. You're an overweight man that wants to be a woman. How the fuck are you the best person to give us advice on the nation's health? Now, you got to pay attention to what's going on. Now, this is the person that is championing the LGBTQ movement now. So on one end, you got Black Lives Matter, made up of all gay and trans black women. And now you got the health director. So the biggest black movement is gay and trans women. And now the health director for the nation is a trans whatever the fuck. And now there's an enormous speculation that for 8 hours in the White House, we had an undercover transgender. See, what they did was test it out on you, allegedly, with Michelle Obama. And seeing as how you couldn't spot it, they know that you're ready for it. Now what they got to do is make it acceptable in the world so that where this thing is headed, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you're going to have an openly trans president. First, they got to give you an openly gay one. It's coming. And it'll probably be a woman. They're going to give you an openly gay woman president. And right after that, you're going to get a transgender one. It's coming if you don't stop it. Why wouldn't it? And now for everybody saying, well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Okay, now let's deal with it. See, every time you're emotional, you forget the thing that we started with this an hour ago. This is fucking war. Stop waking your scary ass up thinking that a white boy gonna save you. This is war. Fucking war. That's what's wrong with it. If I'm at war with the biggest, baddest warriors on the planet, isn't it advantageous to me if I were able to manipulate the masculine energy, the feminine energy? Ain't that common sense? In a war, let's just give me a hypothetical what if. If I'm at war with the most masculine dude on the planet, and I know physically I ain't going to be able to keep him down, wouldn't it be in my advantage if I was to introduce homosexuality and transgenderism into the culture? Now the biggest warriors on the planet have become the biggest homosexuals. The #1 homosexual on planet Earth is the black male. And I would say, I take that back. The #1 open homosexual on the planet Earth is the black male. Definitely not the #1 homosexual. But the #1 openly homosexual species on this planet is the black male. How can you be the #1 warrior and the most incarcerated and the biggest homosexual all at the same time, and you think it's natural? The #1 warrior is the most incarcerated and the biggest homosexual, and you think it's all just the way shit goes. I know y'all seen that picture, and if y'all haven't seen it, it's disgusting. It's a prison picture with 2 little young black dudes, and they got another little young brother. He all beat up and shit, and he on a leash. And they basically just been beating his ass and raping him. What the fuck is that? Where did that come from? How does it even in our psyche of this behavior? Exactly, it's called genocide. But you have to see, this is the advancement of warfare. Somewhere along the way, your enemy figured out, I could force them to do these things, and I will always suffer the possibility of rebellion. But what if I could convince them to do these things unconsciously, not even knowing that these are harmful things? So you buy into a culture or a belief system that is masked, and the only thing you doing is really just living out your understanding of life, which we're all taught we have the right to. This is what y'all get caught up in. Everybody had the right to live the way they want to. That's not true. Everybody has the choice to live the way they want to, but you don't have the right. And when you leave this existence, you're going to find out that you did not have the right to sit here and not participate in this war. If there is anything that you will, and I want to use the word punishment. Everything is cause and effect. But if there's anything that you will truly have to answer for when you leave this existence, is non-participation in this war. You're going to have to answer for that. I don't know how. I can't explain that. But what I do know is there's only one reason we're here. This is a war planet. How'd you get here? The only reason why you ended up on a war planet is to participate in the fucking war. Now you can choose not to. And then you have to deal with the consequences of whatever that entails. I don't know. The male is the one who will rebel if he's effeminized. He can't rebel. There you have it. So now you taking your warriors, the ones who win wars, the ones who had the white man trembling with fear. They have on dresses now, tight pants, and man bags. Keep in mind. In the 90s, the Clintons called y'all predators. In the 90s, the Reagan administration, the 80s, the Reagan administration fed you crack cocaine and turned you upside down. Then right after you got fed crack, they came up with the laws that make you sit your damn life in jail. Then the next administration called you predators. My point is, when they gave you this drug, they knew what was going to happen. It was going to turn their streets into a nightmare. Cops would make a lot of money and they would get action. What you don't understand is the worst thing for a soldier is not to be at war. Every year the police spends millions of dollars on new gear. You think that new gear they want to just sit and not use it? They have to use it. But most people are scared of the government. So how can you guarantee that you're going to use all of this shit that you just got new grants for? You got these fancy vehicles. You got all of this new equipment. How can you guarantee you're going to get to use it? You have to create the scenario in which you can use it. How do you know if your soldiers prepared for if anything really go down? Let's say these gangbangers really do take the streets and go crazy. If you haven't been busy banging with them, how would you know? So they have to keep their soldiers at war in order to make sure that they will forever win the war. So you have to distribute the drugs on the streets, and then you have to take them off the streets. Think about it. If they created crack, which we know for a fact, we can prove it. They admitted it. The CIA admitted that they created crack cocaine. So what I'm asking you is, what are we doing there? If the government created the drug, then how the fuck are you at war with the drug dealers trying to take it off the streets? And if we can admit that they created the drug that many years ago and put it on the streets, why is it still here? And why do we think that they got nothing to do with it now? Because they told you that, and you believe what white people say. It's always problem, reaction, solution. It's the Hegelian dialect. You create the problem, you get the reaction, and then you create the solution for the problem that you created. And then people will only thank you for solving the problem. They don't know about any other thing you involved in. They just, you solved the problem. Now, well, what's in my man bag is made for war. Hey, now, everything got its exceptions. Now, I talk about, as far as the man bag goes, here's my stance on it. Like, I know guys that I really rock with, that I know for a fact rip your head off your shoulders, and they got a man bag. I also know some guys with a man bag who talk like they'll rip your head off your shoulders and ain't gonna throw rice at a wedding. You got on both sides. I know you for being a straight shooter, and I don't think anybody who knows you could ever question your sexuality, or they don't really know you. I more or less attack the culture when I attack the man bag. The fact that they knew it would fly. Because before the man bag came the skinny jeans. See, I put everything together. I don't just look at one thing. They didn't just come with the man bags. They came with the skinny jeans first. So the clothes got tighter for about 5 years first. Then they came with the man bags. That to me is a thing. That is not a coincidence. Because you have to understand, all high fashion designers are typically speaking Italian homosexuals. Now, there's exceptions to every rule, but you're going to find some homosexual in there, and you're definitely going to find mostly Italian. What would happen to people that no longer can produce? They became extinct. Hold on for a second, Queen. So now, all I'm saying is, when we hear in this particular space, me personally, I'm more so at the heels of the people who are orchestrating the culture. Because just like we have a culture with a man bag, we had a culture for centuries, decades without one. So it wasn't necessary. Somebody decided to give men that. For what purpose? Men wasn't sitting around like, you know what, I need a bag to hold for my... No, men wasn't saying that. So somebody decided that this was necessary for men on men's behalf. And I know nowhere in that room was there a black person. So then I have to look at the motive of those in the room. Since we know nobody in the room was black, then who was in the room and what's the motive? Now, I just put that small little piece with all the other information we have. Like I said, the skinny jeans and the way that they going with the culture and all of this shit. So I just feel like the man bag is an added piece to an already fucked up puzzle. Now, what would happen to people that no longer, can produce? They become extinct. And that's where we headed. Because let's lay this all out. If you're heterosexual and you still like the opposite sex, you have toys. A way where you can remove yourself from human contact, human conversation, and even the dance, the challenge of the man and the woman getting to that space to decide if they're going to have sex. The awkwardness, it's all a part of a beautiful picture. Stepping to him or her in the beginning, knowing what to say. That moment when y'all realize y'all got chemistry that could turn sexual. All that is a process of your human growth. It's what makes a man and a woman. These experiences you calculate for later, and you refine these experiences till you get to a point where you comfortably know how to deal with the opposite sex. If this process is cut in half and you just could take a toy, it solves your immediate gratification, but you don't get the lesson from the experience that will help you in future dealings with the species. This is what they're designing to do. Cut off the interaction amongst humans. So now once they cut off the interaction, now they can add all these little segues. So now, if you're homosexual, you can't make babies. If you're using sex toys, you can't make babies. If you're transgender, you can't make babies. Or you can't have them, rather. You can make them, but you can't have them. So now, think about where this all started. With the African Trinity. Father, Son, Mother. Father, Mother, Son. Mother, Father, Son. The Trinity. That is destroyed. The reason why they gave you the Holy Ghost is so that they can remove the woman, but get you to glorify the removal of the woman. See, they had to make her a sinner. She is responsible for the fall of humanity. Fuck the fact that God knows everything, should have seen it coming and never let it happen. That's the equivalent of me turning my back, my child get hit by a fucking semi-truck in the middle of the streets, and I blame it on the child. I'm looking at the body talking about, what the fuck did you run out there for? You dumbass little kid. You are responsible. When a little foresight and me holding my child closer, making sure I pay attention to what my child's doing, and then she doesn't end up with a horny serpent that can sing by a tree, getting her forbidden fruit ate. Oh yeah, the Queen Mother, she go real deep with this. But this is, now, there's a final part to this that makes it even worse. This cannot be properly performed without the implementation of self-hate. That was the final that made this possible. Once you start to hate self, once you get removed from self, once you don't understand self and think that your only savior is a white guy, something that is not attached to self. See, once you accept a savior outside of self, then you accept the fact that you have a problem that you can't fix. I say this again, once you accept the fact that you're going to need a savior outside of self, you have accepted the fact that no matter what, you can't help you. So then you set yourself on a pattern of every time you fuck up, you're blaming it on the fact that you are born in sin. So we all sinners. You hear it all the time. So since we all sinners, and the only thing we have to do is ask for forgiveness, everybody's okay with continuing to sin, and nobody's really remorseful unless they get caught. And the God that you serve is okay with all of this. But the God that you serve will punish you and send you to eternal burning if he or she ain't happy. So this fucked up ass system that he got set up, where he should have never put us in this dumbass situation, but he allows it to play out, and if you fuck up, you burn forever. Now, and her curse was her menstrual. Not understanding that menstrual blood can cure anything on this planet. Huh? Now, I don't want none of you sickos trying no shit like this, and a lot of shit that has to happen in between. But I'm telling you the real truth. Menstrual blood, all you got to do is go back into the old days and look that menstrual blood used to be a cure for ailments. Come on now, quit playing with me. So, how the fuck is your menstrual cycle a curse? Painful birth. 9 months. This is all bullshit. And we already touched what happened in the garden. So now, here's the thing right here. They've been setting you up for this for a long time ago. What version of the Bible is in damn near every home? King James, right? He was a cross-dressing weirdo. King James was a cross-dressing weirdo. He had a private chamber into his bedroom where he snuck his boy lovers in all the time. Look it up. It's documented. And y'all can stop saying he was black. If he was a sick nigga that loved boys. So y'all can have him. He could be black if he want to. He still used to sneak little boys in and out of his room. He still killed his damn mama. And for you queens, y'all like to go to your Vicky's Secret and get your little panties, your cute little lace panties for your baby daddy. And you be feeling all sexy in the mirror doing your little twerk with your little panties on. Well, Vicky's secret is that he was a man. That's the secret. He was an ugly ass man. I put up a picture like 2 months ago. Fat, ugly man with a big nose. Sorry. That's Vicky's secret. Think about that next time you got that on your butt. None of this shit is what it seems. And around every corner, you're going to continue to run into transgenderism and homosexuality. Because they've been priming you for a long time. Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Junior, he played a pregnant man. A man who got pregnant through science, genetics. Through, not genetics. It'll come to me in a second. Excuse me. This is what they're warming you up for. They're trying to completely replace the feminine energy. And now they're turning this into exactly what they did before. They turned ancient Rome homosexual and hunted down the women. So while you black queens steady talking about niggas ain't shit, when that white boy start hog tying your ass, you gonna wish you hadn't condoned so much homosexuality, cause it's gonna be a nigga in your living room talking about stop, put her down. No, you better untie her. Get my mace, girl. Cause niggas ain't shit. You better keep some extra mace for whatever he called himself now that he's a girl. No, y'all. And then y'all participate. Y'all give them cute little names. And then what they do, they hang around y'all, the queens. They hang around y'all. Y'all accept that. You don't tell him, go somewhere and become a black man. because we need protection. You don't tell him we need fucking protection out here. You don't tell him they killing black women and black men, and you got the nerve to show up at my house in a fucking dress. You don't tell him that. You let him snap his fingers and pop his little fast ass around, and you hang out with him and take him every fucking where with you and let him become a spectacle, and he dressing like you, got on lace bodysuits and all this old nasty shit, and you hanging out with him, making him think it's right. You're the fucking crutch. He ain't hanging with no black man acting like that. The black woman accepting that. And then you got the nerve to be on our heels talking about niggas ain't shit. What about that motherfucking homosexual you hang with every day? What is he doing for the black woman? Everything is case-to-case basis. You worried about whether your baby daddy sent child support or not. And if he didn't, then all niggas ain't shit. How about child support was created by white men to trap us, and you shouldn't be on it no fucking way? How about that? You should deny child support. Now, with that being said, I know somebody gonna be like, he must be on child support. I might be the only black man you know that's all the way paid up. I don't owe them hunky shit. I'm paid up. Paid up. Meaning they got their money from me. Repeatedly, continually. For 18 years for all of mine. And I got a few of them. I paid everybody on their way up out of here. How about that? So I ain't saying this from a place of bitterness. I'm talking about war. In my mind, I think war. This is a motherfucking revolution, whether you decide to acknowledge it or not. Whether you decide to join it or not. It's a motherfucking revolution. And everything, and I mean every motherfucking thing this white boy do, from the moment he wake his punk ass up to the moment he close his motherfucking eyes, all he think about is how to keep you his nigga. He got no other agenda. He either wants you his nigga or he wants you dead. He don't want you as an equal. He don't want you as a friend. You can only coexist with him as a subordinate or with his ass at the other end of your pistol. Those are the only two routes for him. In your mind, there's variables. In his mind, he want war or he want dominance. And he'll take both at any minute. He primed for it. He wake up waiting for the day that you say, nigga, let's get it. So I see y'all in your cute little pictures with your firearms. And you like to show your little one semi-automatic weapon or your 2 or 3 weapons. And they screenshot it. And keep that in mind. So when they decide to round niggas up, and y'all sitting in there strapping up all y'all vests and getting all y'all ammo together, thinking like, yeah, we finna take these white boys. They're gonna pull out the remote control, push a button, and erase you from existence. Because you already let them know that you got all them choppers in the house. So why would they run in the house? You niggas talk too much. Whatever I got, he won't know it until he fuck up. I don't show weapons on social media. I don't show shit on social media. I educate black people on social media. Anything else you want to know about me, you will never find out on fucking social media. That is idiocy. Why the fuck would you let people know what you really... Why would you let your enemy know how you really think on a device that he created so that he could learn how you think? Social media was created because it's the new FBI profiler. Mark Zuckerberg is not some little kid who just got lucky. They created Mark Zuckerberg. He's a childhood prodigy and he's a Rothschild. Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook phenom, is a Rothschild. Which means he didn't just get stoned and come up with some shit. This was a program. He was smart as fuck. which a lot of white kids are in a technology era. You show me a white kid that know how to work computers and can't hack, and I show your ass a motherfucking blue monster. So this is what they do. So they created a profiling system so that they used to, remember America's Most Wanted, John Walsh? They had to profile you and track you all over the country with episodes and all that. They don't have to do that no more. That's why America's Most Wanted is out of business. Soon as you fuck up, they just check they run your face through the social media database. Whatever platform you on is going to pop up and everything about you be right there. What kind of sex you like, what kind of music you like, what kind of everything. Because you niggas tell everything. If they read my shit, they going to be so fucking confused. The only thing they going to know is I don't like white people. But I do. They even fucked up on that part. They ain't going to even be confused about that. They're going to watch 5 videos like, yeah, he's definitely a racist. They're going to get to the 6th video like, wait a minute. He actually doesn't hate white people. Oh, fuck. Start the tape over, Todd. I do that on purpose. You Negroes wear your hearts on your sleeve. Anything I want to know about you, all I got to do is scroll your page. Every single fucking emotion you felt in the last 30 days is on your Facebook page right now. I know, because I be looking. This is how I destroy y'all ass of debates. Because as soon as you get to saying stupid shit, you might have to go look at all the dumb shit on your page. That's ammunition to win my next 5 comments, and you don't even know it. This is what you up against. Somebody who has had the luxury of studying you for thousands of years while you were at their mercy. And now you're still at their mercy and they still study you while you study nothing. You niggas worry about stocks and land. Everybody now is in stocks and real estate. I'm gonna buy my own land and do this, that, and the other. Yeah, because they definitely can't come on your land and kill everybody and say, nigga, die. The white boy bought land and had his own compound. They demonized him, said he was in there raping little girls, stormed his compound and killed everybody. David Koresh. He was out there doing his own thing with his people, whatever the fuck he decided to do. Dr. York built a goddamn, he paid for the land out in Atlanta, out in Georgia, I mean. He built his own personal Egypt. The only person that we know of to successfully make an exact replica of the Egyptian pyramids. According to them, he raped 100-some little girls and gave them STDs. They stormed the compound and tore it apart. Now, I don't know whether he did or not. That land gone. That land gone. Them pyramids gone. That's what I'm saying. All the shit that you think you're supposed to be doing don't mean a motherfucking thing. You can get all the real estate license you want, all the land you want. The only thing that says to me is you ain't gonna challenge white supremacy. Because soon as they give you your land and your fancy little piece of paper from white folks, you're gonna have too much to lose. So nigga, you gonna sit still and you ain't gonna do shit. Because every time we get ready to do something, you gonna think about all this. I'm gonna lose my land. They gonna take my deed if I fight back for white folk. See, that's why you niggas get these things. So you can make excuses for not doing things. All of these things that you so attached to is what keep you from busting this white boy shit. And he know that. That's why he allow you to get these things. The more things he give you, the more you shut up. This is why they flooding y'all with stimulus checks. And then meanwhile, while they flooding y'all with stimulus checks, they got a guy, girl, he, she about to start giving us health tips. And that guy, girl, he, she wants to mutilate your 15-year-old's genitals legally and give them a sex change at the age of 15 legally without the parents' consent. And I be motherfucking you, mark my words, if it's gonna go through. Now they look at there's no such thing as they do everything, so they're gonna make it go through. What they doing is seeing how much resistance they're gonna gauge. And the more that they can get y'all to start agreeing with the transgender, soon as we get people to start agreeing more with this transgender health director, you're going to see it every fucking where you go. It's going to get to the point where you're literally going to have to start checking your date in the public place before you agree to go somewhere with them. You're literally going to have to, you're going to be dead meat on this computer screen shit. You're going to end up meeting so many motherfucking people that is not the right sex. It's ridiculous. This is why they got all of these filters and all these different things you can do to yourself on the screen now. Y'all making cute little faces and airbrushing yourself, and you think it's for you. No, it's so when that he, she get on there, they can convince you they're a girl long enough to get to you. Or they can convince your little kids that. And now, look what they got. You can turn your face and make it anything you want. So that means a grown man can look like a young man and talk to your child on the internet and get them to come outside. So y'all don't pay attention to shit. Y'all just on the cute little phone. Look, girl, I look like motherfucking Bruce Willis. Oh, that shit's so funny. If you could do it to each other, then they could do it to your child. Once I could switch my face and be anybody, then I could convince your child to come outside. I'm somebody else. And then when they go back and look at the replay on the computer, you're going to look like Mickey Mouse. So we're not going to know who the fuck. The only thing it's going to look like is Mickey Mouse set up an appointment with your child and kidnapped him. What the fuck does that mean? This is where we're headed. And you're going to assist it because they got the right to do what they want to do. They got sexual freedom. You can't be free in black, but you can be free in transgender. You can't do shit as black. But if you're a black man with a dress, you can have anything you want. If you're a homosexual black man, you can rise to the top of any corporation. Ain't that something? Who set up these guidelines? Another thing we're not paying attention to. And last but not least, I'm going to show you queens how they use your ass. Remember, Amber Rose had the body of a black woman. And then she used that body of a black woman slogan to make y'all identify with her. Even though your breast and butt is natural, hers is surgery. So she don't got the body of a black woman. She had to pay to look like you. But they don't announce that. And we forget when we see the features. And then she lets you say it's okay to be a slut. Why you not embracing your black slutness? And y'all got out there held signs and you support it. Sexual freedom. And whether you directly or indirectly supported it, y'all don't give a fuck about being loyal to a black man no more. So you support this whole slut thing. All while saying why niggas don't act right. These things were done on purpose so they can lure you in a certain direction. Everything is about doing anything you want sexually, which is mighty funny because a man named Aleister Crowley, who was the biggest, according to them, the biggest Satanist in history, coined the phrase, do what thou wilt should be the whole of the law. That became the #1 rule in Freemasonry and in occultism. Do what thou wilt. So it's funny that he came out with that phrase in the 60s and 70s. And now we fast forward to a time where you see it right before your very eyes. Everybody can do what they want. You can have sex with who you want, and nobody's supposed to judge you. Men with men, women with women, orgies, threesomes, all is fair play. And nobody's supposed to judge you. And as long as we're doing all of this free sex, how can you have a family? Then y'all say, well, everybody don't want a family. Because everybody's a fucking idiot. The way they whooping your ass is through their family. They're passing down information and wealth generationally. A baby mama or a baby daddy is not an outlet to generational wealth. A husband and wife is. So as long as you got a baby mama, baby daddy mentality, you're going to attract baby mama, baby daddy material. And you won't be passing down shit generationally. And this is the problem. This is why they made it okay to change your gender. Because as long as you're changing your gender, you can't make babies. And as long as you're not interested in a black man, and the black man ain't interested in a black woman, and the black woman is more interested in sex with women, which is damn near all you see now. Every other black woman is down there to the point where it's thirsty and it's nasty. It used to be attractive watching women be attracted to each other. That's when I was young and it was just getting started and it was cool. But now it's like when you really look at it from a grown man perspective, there's no future in that. Now, I can't tell nobody don't party, have fun, and if you decide it's going to go down, that happens. But at what point do we get serious and start thinking about what's being done to us and how do we counteract it? We can't counteract it popping bottles and having threesomes. We got to start getting some families and some generational wealth. And most importantly, we got to let young black men see they mama with they daddy. We raised generations of baby mama, baby daddy, one-parent households, or if y'all co-parenting, y'all not doing it in the same household. No matter how much we try, if it's not happening in the same household, the child is still going to lose out, because at one point when they need one, they're not going to be able to be there, and vice versa. So we are aiding and abetting our enemy by popping bottles, having threesomes, and having baby mamas. Do what you want, but the reality is there's no generational wealth being created off of this, and this is why they're pushing it. This is why they want you throwing wild parties and having non-monogamous sex and having threesomes and all that shit. Babies don't get made out of that. Families don't get started. So a rapper can have as many fucking gold chains and fancy cars as he wants to. That shit don't get passed down. And what happens when the music stop being hot? Some of your favorite rappers is hitting their 40s now, late 30s, and they buzz starting to slow down. So now they got all of this fancy shit, but they haven't contributed nothing. What was your contribution? Okay, you had a rap career. What the fuck does that do for humanity? Because you could rap and you made millions. And y'all somehow think that that is standing up for black people. That ain't shit for black people. A fucking rapper did not contribute shit to society. Now, don't get me wrong. Music is a weapon. And if done properly, it could do something monumental. So, I still believe in the beauty of music because I still have music to make me feel good. So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying more so is this. When you looking at contributions on a societal level, before I leave this planet, what did I contribute to? I see black people in a fucked up space. I see racism, I see rape, I see horror, trauma, I see all of this evil shit. What did I do to try to say, while I was here, I did something? It can't just be what I did for those I love. We're all going to do the best that we can for those we love. That's not the mark of true love and humanism. True love and humanism is looking at the whole. How can I contribute whatever I possibly can to help humanity? My fight starts with helping black folks because I realize that that's the biggest problem. You fix what's wrong with black folks, the rest of this shit will go away. Had I woke up in a world where it was vice versa, I would still stand for fixing humanity. That's what it's all about. What is your contribution to this fucked up ass thing you see every day? Don't just get your ass on social media and complain about it. What are you going to do about it? They taught your little girl that it's because of women that the world is all fucked up. How's she gonna have value in herself? This is what you gotta think about. It's a reason why they want you having sex with each other. You can't make babies. I keep trying to tell y'all that. And y'all think it's some deep conspiracy. When was the last time two homosexuals made a baby? And if two homosexuals are raising a child, you're giving the child one-sided energy. Y'all always want to do what make y'all feel better because you fucking... Sometimes y'all disgust me with the way you think. You so selfish. You in love with this man or this woman, so you figure we got the right to raise a child. You didn't make the child. You don't got the right to raise it. If you're not going to do it with both energies. A child needs to see both masculine and feminine energy because the principles bounce off of each other. So the child gets an understanding of a holistic relationship, a holistic union. A child needs to see that. You got two women raising a little boy. How the fuck are you going to get that little boy what is masculine from masculine? I don't give a fuck if one of them is as rugged as DMX. You still got a vagina. And at some point, he might walk in the room or in the bathroom with you on the toilet sitting down pissing. So all that tough shit you've been talking all week go out the window when he accidentally walk in and you squatting and pissing just like his mama. That's not it. This is what we need to care about, not what makes us feel better. What's better for the whole? There is no way that you can continuously groom healthy relationships and raise healthy children when you don't have dualistic energies. If anybody thinks I'm wrong, just look at fucking black society. It is the direct effect of the men being docile, emasculated, and incarcerated. When you have warriors at the front of your tribe, nobody does what they doing to us. You could kill black people because ain't nobody gonna do shit. Why the police don't kill white men on camera in the street? Somebody tell me that. Why don't you ever see police kill a white man live on TV? I'm going to tell you why. Because whatever state, city, or county it happened in, white men will burn the entire fucking city down. That's why. Your scary ass like to preach, talk, and sing. White boys understand that if nothing else, they got human rights. And before a white boy let you take his human rights, you're going to take his bullets. That's how he look at it. So that tobacco chewing, toothless redneck who you think dumb as fucking ignorant as a box of rocks, and he might be. But you step on his property and say you finna take one of his family members off of it and see on somebody die today. Not for any other reason than one thing. Only one thing. He know who he is. Whatever that is, he know who he is. And who he is, in his mind says, I got the right to protect my motherfucking family no matter what. White boy ain't looking at the consequences. We done all seen the footage. Police get too spiffy with them. They grab rifles and shoot it out till somebody die. I'm not suggesting that. But what I am saying is there's a mentality attached to that when you know who you are. They done such a wash job on us, we don't know who we are. And now you got all of these different things telling you who you supposed to be. And if we didn't have enough to deal with now, doesn't matter what your sexuality is. You can be gender neutral. We need black warriors. We don't need black men that want to be more sensitive and get rid of their genitals. How the fuck does that help us in the next phase of war? It doesn't. So when you look at it, case in point, everything in your path that's ready available to you is designed to keep you from understanding the very thing that we keep touching on today. This is war. And everything you see that you're relating to, everything, no exceptions, has been put there for you. The exact way, if you don't feel, put it to you this way, everything that's set in front of you, if you don't feel the opposite about readily available information, you're part of the problem. Nothing out there is just sitting out there for you, being supported by the masses, and it's right. If it was right, they wouldn't allow it to be out. We got to take all the information and create our own system. Fuck who used to believe in what. Fuck what God you used to support. Give God our name. Let's call God whatever we want to call it. It all means the same thing. Someone greater than us that created it all. We want to argue over whether it's a man or a woman, whether it came from this nation or that nation. Who gives a fuck? Really? I don't. If there really is this God that y'all thinking about, you're going to be mad when you find out it didn't come from where you think, then what you going to do? You're going to have an attitude with God. Like, what? We ain't from Egypt? Fuck that shit. I ain't going with Israel. Nigga, it's God. You going. I mean, what? Israel? Hell no. I thought it was Egypt. You sure, God? You think God going to have a discussion with you like, well, let me explain to you why. We understand what we mean. Something greater than us created us. Okay, let's call it something. And then we can decide on how this something behaves according to our experiences. That's nothing that has to be argued over. Why are people dying over that? A different name for the same thought process. The whole thought is something greater than us created us. Y'all want to specify, no, it created us. No, it created us. It created us over there. No, it created us over here. Who give a fuck? You here. And apparently you got the same problem. It created all of y'all to fight these niggas. That's the bottom line. Whoever created y'all all of these different belief systems. But coincidentally, these guys over here don't like none of y'all. Y'all believe all this different shit. And these guys over here murder you under every different belief system. And you got the nerve to argue which system is better. The one that don't get us killed. How about that? Or the one that protects us when we finna get killed. How about that? None of the systems you know to date have protected you from anything. So you're just a bunch of niggas arguing over nigga shit. Because none of it is relevant until we can stop the bullets and take the power back. Just that simple. The attack is on your babies. And the attack is on the bringers of life. They've already attacked the black man. They locked his ass up, got him disenfranchised. He don't care about shit but slave masters and vagina. The black man is damn near neutralized. Now, if we can get the queen's mind off her wop, she's the only one that got the power to wake our ass back up. If she can stop saying niggas ain't shit, look at the immaturity of the black man and say, even though he here, he's sick, I'm going to show him everything that he say don't exist in a black woman. See, y'all do one or two things. Nigga don't appreciate you. These niggas ain't shit. I gave him everything. You bought that nigga dinner twice and some Jordans. It happens. Get over it. It wasn't the retro 39s. That's the problem. See, I look at it different. You mad because you bought the nigga Jordans and he left. I'm mad because you picked the nigga that wear Jordans. We are not the same. You can't be sitting here talking about you the goddess and your nigga wear Jordans. Now, for those that do wear Jordans, Tomato, tomato. Do what you must. I'm just saying. You get what you get. The attack is on your black women and your little black boys. The black man is damn near neutralized. If we don't wake the black woman up, she can't wake the black man up. All you got to do is look through all his ignorance and understand on the other side of all that dumb shit he say is a scared nigga. And the reason why he do 90% of the shit he do is for the fear of losing you and your motherfucking confidence. So he can't stand dealing with you looking at him without confidence. So therefore he hides his insecurity behind bravado. You look at that bravado as a real thing, and when it disappoints you, then you through with him. If you were just to only see that the bravado is a facade, it's masking a genuine fear and uncertainty, and you could simply pretend like you don't know it and say, okay, baby, I get it. And give him a couple of them until he calmed down. And sooner or later, once he sees the lack of resistance, you'll be able to implement what you want to implement into his black mind. But you can't with his guards up. And a lot of times he don't know they up. So when you push, because you think he pushing, he just confused. If your push turn into the right questions, you'll get the right answers. If you don't, you with the wrong black man. But everybody ain't fucked up. Most of us just confused. We got to start being willing to deal with each other. Not just be with each other, but deal with each other. What's really going on with her? What's really going on with him? Let's deal with each other and get back to that space. Because it ain't nothing like looking on the other side into your queen eyes and knowing, no matter what, she not leaving your side till it's done. It ain't no better feeling than that. And when she look across at the warrior and say, before he let anything happen to us, they gonna have to kill him. That's just enough comfort for her. Even if you die, it's enough comfort for her knowing that you ready, no matter what. Not that just whatever this bitch gonna do for me. That can only go so far. She gotta look across and see. If they pull it, he ain't gonna stand for it. When she could start seeing that in you, you're going to start getting what you're trying to get out of her. But we can't take our mind frame out of war. We in it. We knee deep in it. And they're going to keep convincing you that it's okay for your little black child to come home and want to be a girl. And if you don't got the foresight to have had your black ass in my academy and know better, that little boy gonna be wearing one of them goddamn dresses the little Mexican kids wear when they kick soccer balls. Tired of this shit. You got that little boy confused as shit. Little kids dyeing their hair and all kind of weirdo shit. And I'm gonna tell you where you fucked up at. I kept telling y'all, take them big dumbass eyelashes off. Then you notice they took y'all makeup and they made the makeup heavy, and then y'all still putting the little makeup thing in the corner with the heavy black shit in the corner with the big lashes. Who does that? Drag queens wear fake lashes and heavy makeup. Drag queens wear fake lashes and heavy makeup. So why did they usher in the fake lash era? And right after they ushered in the fake lash era, transgender everywhere. These people don't do shit just to be doing it. If fake lashes became popular amongst black women, it was a reason. Because they're going to give them to black men and let black men dress like black women. And if you got on fake lashes and the transgender dude got on fake lashes, it gets harder and harder to tell y'all apart. You got on heavy makeup, the trans got on heavy makeup. And now, Y'all got in the car with breast augmentation and booty augmentation. The black woman should have never participated in that. You were born with it. The white woman was the one trying to get it. So you allow her to play catch up illegally. And then you joined in with her. And now what's the problem? If heavy makeup is popular, fake lashes is popular, breast jobs is popular, ass jobs is popular, and penis removal is popular, you can literally become a woman. Cheating. And so much so that a man and a woman will be standing right next to each other and you will think it's two women. And you'll fuck around and pick the ex-man and be loving the sex and being in a long-term relationship with someone who used to be a boy. And it's happening left and right because now, makeup-wise, transsexuals look just like the average black woman going to the club. Y'all wear the same shit. And somehow you think this was an accident. Like you think everything's a fucking accident. Nope. Gotcha. All of this started with me watching that movie Weird Science. The two little white kids decide they're lusting over some little white girls in gym class and decide, hey, how about we make a girl? Whatever. So now they get on their computer and they're making a girl. I noticed something. They play the psyche so much in movies. The first thing they started working on is her breast. This is a racial thing. If they was brothers, it would have been the booty. See? It's the first thing two little white kids do is make huge titties. That's crazy. White dudes is in love with titties. I don't know why. Y'all just tits. It's like a huge thing. So they make tits so big they about to pop out the screen. Then they realize that probably won't work. So they shrink the titties. So now they're putting together this dream girl. And they're putting together all the attributes. Now, they're taking photos of all the attributes and feeding them into the machine how they want the woman to be. So they take a bunch of Playboy magazine pictures and they pick the body structure that they want, slide it in there. Now, while they picking the rest of her attributes, they're picking Hitler. It's all men. So the only thing they got from a woman was the physical appearance. Then everything else they slid into the machine was men. Howard Stern, Hitler. I don't know why they slid Hitler in there. Motherfucking somebody else. But it was a bunch of men. See, you gotta catch not what's being said, sometimes what's not being said. If you're making your dream woman, how come the only thing that was feminine was the look? Everything else was a man. What's the underlying message? They want you to just look like a woman, but they want a man. This is getting the best of both worlds, so to speak. Because the feminine energy is necessary in order for you to dominate. They like to dominate things. But give you the appearance of femininity. Give you the masculine thing, the appearance of being feminine. So I don't feel guilty. It's a weird fucking dude you dealing with. But remember, he used to fuck his cattle. Whatever that means. They never tell the truth. There's a reason why they're showing you movies with men pregnant and teenagers creating girls with all men attributes. This theme has been going throughout Hollywood forever. Because why? The whole thing was created by homosexual men. This is a homosexual sex cult. And that's who runs your planet. And they got this thing that they're arguing now about the fairness of little boys playing girl sports as transgender. So the new thing is these little boys who want to be girls are getting into girl sports. Now what the argument is if you make them let's say it's a little boy and he is identifying as a girl, you're discriminating against him to make him play a boy sport. If a little boy decides that he wants to be a little girl and you do not allow him to play his sport of choice as a girl, you are discriminating against him. Does that make any fucking sense to you? That's where we're headed. So you got little boys getting in girl sports and completely dominating them, obliterating the little girls. Now, here's the thing. You literally got little girls who are losing scholarships. They only chance to get out the ghetto. They're losing to a boy dressed as a girl in their sport. So now the boy-girl gets the scholarship. The little girl who last year before he came, she was guaranteed the scholarship. Now it's gone to the little he-she. And this somehow is fair. And they're arguing that that little boy has the right to play the sport in which he identifies with. That's what you approved, and that's the world you live in. That's the world you live in. And that's what you approved of. And it's only going to get worse. So when you see them maneuvering, understand this is Dr. Frankenstein on steroids. It's alive. They are shaping a world that removes you from relationship, obligation, and sexual responsibility. And if they can accomplish that, there is nothing to stand against them as a collective. Because as long as the household is broken, how do you have a collective ideology to protect? So you either going to have all men trying to protect themselves or all women trying to protect themselves. You're not going to have a combined effort of we need to stop this system. The war becomes against each other. If we can bridge the gap between what's wrong with black men and what's wrong with black women, then we don't care about what's wrong with white supremacy. We got to stay fighting about what's wrong with each other. So while we doing that, they can run circles around us. As we beefing with each other. We're not accomplishing nothing. What is black America, what is black society accomplishing? Name me one thing as a collective black society is doing. Nothing. There's not one thing that we do as a collective that threatens white supremacy. Nothing. The only thing you can come close to saying is trying to push this information. Past that point, as a collective, we don't do not one thing to stop white supremacy. Which means we approve of it. And they know that. We support it, and they know that. This is why they want little girls to like girls, boys to like boys, and pretty soon they're going to, they got sites for it now, and they got a name for it too. I forget the name of it, but there is a term for adults who want to be in a relationship with children. They have a term for it. They have a website for it, and they're getting it passed through legislature. that you're allowed to have because otherwise it's your sexual preference, and if you're denied that preference, you're being discriminated against under the Constitution. So if my sexual preference is a little boy and that little boy is consensual, then you are discriminating against me if you don't let it happen. That's where they're headed, and it's going to work. Watch what I tell you. That's what this thing is all about. It's not about you want to eat the cute girl's vagina that you keep staring at in the miniskirt. Go ahead, have at it. It's not going to change the world, though. It'll feel better, but it's not going to change the world. This is where we at with this thing. Knowledge is the only real power, and information is the only real currency. I love y'all. I'm gone.